back in there. I mean, obviously you don't know. Joe Sanchez is warming up as well. I don't know if Coach Krantzer's given the nod on who's got the second half start. But it might have been one of those things that he wanted to work Sanchez in anyway, and he ended up doing such a great job, had a good drive on that first drive that going to stick him in there and kind of run with him going into the win.
So the Trojans just now coming back out onto the field with the Hard Rockers leading 17-7. We mentioned next week we're up in Mayville as we play the Comets. And that game will start at 12:30. Rapid City time will be on the air at about 12:05 from Mayville, North Dakota. They are playing up in Spearfish this afternoon against the Yellow Jackets.
Tom, the question I was going to have you ask Mr. Wharton was why he wasn't running the loop around the track, but I'm sure you had him pinned years and months in advance to come up here and do that interview for you.
Yeah, we got it arranged about 10 minutes before kickoff.
And he was more than happy to probably oblige so that he would not have to do the traditional lap of the freshman or frosh.
Well, I want to congratulate a lot of downtown businesses who really made the effort to promote M-Day, and Dr. Wharton is really wanting to make the School of Mines, which has been part of this community, as we all know, for 124 years. But he wants to make there even more of a connection between the school and the community. And there are several businesses downtown that did the extra step and did the extra mile to promote M-Day. And I know the school is truly grateful to those businesses that did just that. Final score from Jamestown. Dickinson State, we said they had played two tough non-conference games and lost both of them. They open up the conference with a 19-7 win over Jamestown. So the defending DAC conference champions, Dickinson State, opens up the 2009 DAC conference season with a win.
Yeah, and like you said, Tom, they had a real tough preseason, so to speak, or pre-conference schedule. Looks like School of Mines is going to get the ball here to start the second half. If you remember, Tom, Dakota State won and decided to defer, and they're kind of taking a page from School of Mines playbook, and they're actually going to take the win to start the quarter and offer up the ball in trade.
So the Hard Rockers will
like Mayville State, an update. Mayville State is down 30-0 to Black Hill State at half. Minot State is up on Valley City, 21-17 in the third. And, of course, like you mentioned, Dickinson State pulled out the win at Jamestown, who were both 0-2 going into that game.
You know, it's amazing. Black Hills went all the way down to northwest Oklahoma last week and won 17-7. It wasn't 21-7.
21-7, and very impressive win by the Jackets there.
So here's the kickoff with the Hard Rockers getting the second half kick. And it's going to be Jamie Dale at the 7-yard line. He's up across the 10, the 15, the 20. Bursts the outside 25-30, 35-40, 45. Horse collared and tackled into Dakota State territory on the far side of the field. He just had a burst there and carries it down to the Dakota State 46-yard line. That's where the Hard Rockers will get the ball.
You know, Tom, and as many possessions as we had in that first half, this is only the second possession that's starting in the defensive side of the field, or on the opponent's side of the ball.
So the Hard Rockers come out. And what are they running? The Wildcat here, huh?
Like Jamie Dale going to take snap.
Jamie Dale takes the snap, cuts it off to the left, gets across the 45, breaks a tackle, carries forward, and gets down to about the Trojan 39 for 6 or 7 yards. They ran that before with Dustin Menely against Montana Tech with some success, but Dustin out. And here's Nick Russell coming in from the near sidelines now to run this Hard Rocker offense. Second down and about 3 yards to go. The ball just inside the Dakota State 40 as we start the third quarter. Hard Rockers leading 17-7. Russell's out of the shotgun. Tyler Barth is upright to his right. Here's the snap, the play fake, and Russell rolls right, throws to the side to Beilstein, catches it at the 35, and makes an inside move and gets down to about the 31-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, good throw by Nick Russell, kind of throwing onto the side there with this wind blowing. Great job by Beilstein to keep his eyes on it, make sure he caught it before he decided to go upfield and run with it.
So that's a pickup of a first down about 8 or 9 yards down to the Dakota State 31-yard line. Hard Rockers moving into the wind, moving from left to right. Russell out of the shotgun, hands off to Tyler Barth, and he cuts it up the middle and is down at the 30. Not much there for Tyler that time.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get forward progress for about a gain of a yard.
2nd and 9 for the School of Mines. 13:30 to play here in the third quarter. Here's the snap to Russell. Here's the play fake. Nick bootlegs out to his left, throws it left side and picked off inside the 10-yard line. And down at around the 9. The third interception for the Hard Rockers in the game. And another one that's deep in Dakota State territory is Josh Windsor comes up with the interception for Dakota State.
Yeah, really a bad decision by Russell there. Threw into double coverage and actually had him underthrown by a good 5 to 8 yards there. So it was an easy pick for the defense.
He was throwing across his body too, and he was also throwing into the wind.
Yep.
The good part about that play, if there was any, is the Trojans take over at the 9-yard line in their own territory. Paul Bagala is up over center. Bagala takes the snap, pumps right, now throws back to his left, and it's caught at the 5, and the screen pass is disrupted and tackled at the 10 by Bruce Struckman.
Yeah, good job by Bruce Struckman. He kind of read the screen on that, reversed his wheels, got back out to the flat, and actually ran him down from behind.
Good play by Struckman. 2nd down and 9. The ball is out to the 10-yard line. Gain of just over a yard for Dakota State here with 12:45 to play. Third quarter. Trojans moving with the wind and trailing by 10 points. 2 receivers off to the right. Here's a toss back going to the running back Trimble, and he is snowed under back at the 5-yard line.
Well, again, Everett Bill going right up the middle on that one, kind of disrupting the whole play.
It is now 3rd down and 14. The ball back at the 5-yard line. They've got to get up to about the 19 for a first down. The ball is spotted down just around the 6-yard line. 3rd and 13. Dakota State has to be careful down here. Bagala is going to go up underneath center. Trimble is his running back. Here's the snap. He's back into his end zone to throw. Shoots it over the middle. The receiver slips and falls down at the 25-yard line.
Ooh,
and here comes a very late flag from Jim Phillips on the near sideline.
Boy, Jim Phillips threw that from about the 5-yard line all the way out to the center, 5-yard sideline to the center of the field, clear at about the 24, 25-yard line. So that was a heck of a throw. You know, that's one of those that I almost have to question, was it even catchable? Because even though the receiver fell down, I don't think that thing was even remotely close to where he was at.
Well, the other 2 officials closer to the play did not call it. Was he tripped or did he?
They're going to say that he was tripped. I don't.
So the ball comes out to the 21-yard line. The Trojans have it first down, and they get a big gift there from Jim Phillips. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. He was the farthest official from the play. Here's the snap and the handoff, and again the Hard Rocker run defense is tremendous. And guess who?
Yeah, Everett Brill.
This one, it was Everett Brill, as we have seen him on several tackles in the game.
See, and I think what his assignment this day here was just basically to spy that running back, and wherever he goes, he's just going to mirror him and make the play.
Trimble, no gain, a loss of maybe of a half yard. Everett Brill had 9 tackles in that first half, 4 more than anyone else in the Hard Rocker team. Dana Melledge and Tim Lucchini each had 5 tackles in the first half. 2nd and 10, Trojans at their own 20. Here's a play fake. The pass off to the right is incomplete.
Yeah, they were setting up a receiver screen to the right side there, and the Hard Rockers came with pressure, and there was 3 or 4 guys, including Tyrell Anderson, getting in there to rush the quarterback on that throw.
So it's 3rd and 10 now for the Trojans, about almost 11 from their own 20. And we're down to 11-10 to play here in the third quarter. And the Hard Rockers leading by a score of 17-7. Next home game will be on October the 10th when the Hard Rockers host Minot State. That'll be Youth Football Day. 100 free youth footballs given away at that game. Flag down, pass right side is caught by Trimble, or rather by McIntyre. And he's out across the 25 to the 28, and we have a flag down on both sides of the field. Eric Yesh made the tackle.
Yeah, they let the play progress, so I'm assuming that was somebody lining up in the neutral zone. If it was on the offense, they would have blown it dead. And unfortunately for Paul Pagala, number 41, Joe Burke had a free shot at him, and he just laid into him.
Joe Burke was lined up offside, and the officials marking it off the wrong way.
Oh, there he goes. They helped him out. Dakota State linemen helping him out. It's nice of them.
So that sets up a 3rd and about 6 for the Trojans at the 25-yard line. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. 1 running back. Here's the snap. The pass on a slant play is caught for a first down at the 35-yard line by Stacy Berg. And the Trojans convert a 3rd down and pick up 10 there for a first down.
Yeah, easy read for Paul Pagala there. Basically what he's looking at, he's looking at number 14, Dana Melich, and he's watching Dana. If Dana drifts back and kind of takes the deep slot, quick slant receiver, then he just dumps it off over to the flat. If he decides to come up and press that flat receiver, then he just goes and drops it right off his back shoulder and picks up an easy first down.
So the Trojans move it out to the 35-yard line. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Here's the toss going to the right side, and this time it's Kyle Tian running with the football. He's across the 35 and comes out to the 38-yard line, running around the right side. So a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, good job by Andrew Munson, number 94, and Bruce Struckman, 97. They were both there to make the stop on the left side.
We'll call it 2nd and 8. The gain from the 31 out to the 36 out to the 38. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Here's the snap. Here's the pass on a slant again, and it's caught for a first down, and then a hit by Everett Brill. It was the receiver Berg catching it, and he limps off to the sidelines on his hands and knees.
Yeah, 31, Donovan Brill just laid it into him. He got there just as the ball got there, and boy, actually a good job of the receiver hanging on to it. But he's definitely down, and he's hurting over there at the 40-yard line on the sideline.
The gain was 9 yards for a first down.
If I'm guessing, it's probably nothing serious, probably just got the wind knocked out of him.
Jim Aberle has stopped play, even though the player is off the field of play and across the white line over on the far side. Jim Aberle has stopped play. Trojans have another first down at the 47-yard line. Hard Rocker mistakes have played a huge part in this game. The Hard Rockers lead 17-7. But they have had 3 interceptions, and all 3 have happened inside the 20-yard line, the Dakota State 20. So 3 red zone turnovers have killed the School of Mines here with 9:45 to play in the third quarter, but they still lead 17-7.
Looks like they're calling an actual official timeout here. I'm not quite for sure.
The receiver's getting up now under his own, well, he's helped up, but it looks like he's okay.
Yeah, the receiver that was down is number 80, Stacy Berg. freshman out of Arizona.
So they spot the ball at the Trojan 47. That pass play to Berg picked up 9 in the first down. They're running a lot of quick slants now in the last couple of third down plays. And here's a first down for the Trojans now at the 47. I formation. Toss coming left side, and here comes the running back trying to turn the corner. He does across the 45 and across the 50. Kyle Tian again with a good run, but there's a flag down back at the 45-yard line of Dakota State.
Yeah, number 84 for Dakota State threw looked like a block in the back. Derek Spangler, the receiver.
And this will be a flag that'll be marked off against Dakota State. They had 3 penalties for 15 yards in the first half. The Hard Rockers had 3 penalties for 20 yards. Ball back at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, not only did they lose the 10 yards on the block in the back, but that was actually ended up being a pretty nice run on that sweep to the left side.
.38-yard line, first down. They marked off the penalty of 9 yards, so it's going to be 1st and 19. Here's Bagala back to pass, scrambles out to his right. Now looking, Lucchini after him. Lucchini tackles him, and the pass is off to the right and through the hands of the receiver at midfield.
Yeah, Lucchini had him right in his sights, and right at the last minute, he just kind of flicked it right over the corner, and receiver actually was wide open, couldn't come up with the catch.
So it's 2nd and 19 for the Trojans at their own 38-yard line. We have 9:10 to play here in the third quarter, and the Hard Rockers leading 17-7.
Looks like we got a new quarterback for Dakota State coming in on this play. Ed O'Connor, number 6.
All righty, Ed O'Connor has come in. He's out of Fort Worth, Texas, a junior. He's back to pass. He's under pressure. Scrambles to his right. Now throws to the sidelines, and it's incomplete. And here comes a flag over on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that's going to get a lot of boos from the crowd, but that was probably one of those good call there by the ref. They're going to call pass interference.
So this will be a walk-off from the 38-yard line. The flag has been the nemesis of the Hard Rockers in this second half. He marks the penalty off from the 38 down to the Hard Rocker 47, 15 yards. So it's a first down now for the Trojans at the Hard Rocker 47. So the ball at the 47-yard line. Receivers left and right. We have the I formation. Here's the snap. Here comes the toss to the left side. The Hard Rockers throw down the running back, Kyle Tian. Up to make the tackle, Eric Yesh for the Hard Rockers, and a big loss. And it's going to come back to the 40, almost the 40, well, 49 we'll call it. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14.
Yeah, Eric Yesh doing a good job getting through all the traffic to get into that backfield and making the stop for the loss.
So here come the Trojans now on 2nd and long with 8:25 to play in the third quarter. Hard Rockers leading 17-7. Here's the pass, O'Connor to the right side. It's caught at the 48, and Sherman, the defensive back, makes the tackle over on the far side of the field. Josh Sherman at the Hard Rocker 48-yard line. So they gained about 3 on that play.
Yeah, a low throw there by O'Connor, the new quarterback in there, but Drew Allen doing a good job of kind of picking that one off the carpet, even though it was just for a short gain. Looks like it's going to bring up 3rd and about 11, maybe 10 and a half here.
This is where the Hard Rockers were so good against Montana Tech, only 3 of 17 third down conversions, but the Trojans have done a good job on third down in this game. 3rd and long here. Back to pass, and Connor is going to be sacked. Hard Rockers' Everett Brill was in there, and also Wyatt Stinger and Everett Brill on the sack. They're going to spot it at the Dakota State 45, and that sets up 4th down and 18 yards to go.
Yeah, good job by the defense. Both Everett and Wyatt doing a great job getting in there and making pressure on this new quarterback.
Here's the snap, and the kick is away. It's a high, good punt. Tommy Lensman at the 15, and he breaks the tackle, comes across the 20, 25. Oh, and he's tripped up and down at around the 33-yard line.
Yeah, Blake Schlegel, that's going to show up as just a tackle for him, but boy, that one probably saved 6 points on that one.
Nick Russell is in at quarterback with the ball at the Hard Rocker 33-yard line, moving from left to right, and 7:34 to play here in this third quarter. Here's the play fake, pass off left side to Dale. Makes his move and gets out to about the 35-yard line. A little flat pass in the left flat. Dale picks up 2, and it's 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, tough play there for Jamie Dale really to get much on that one. Dakota State had 4 guys over there defending the 2 receivers, and just tough one to get, still it'll take 2 yards, but that was a tough, hard 2 yards.
Russell back, pump fakes. He's going to scramble out of the pocket. He crosses the 35 and is down at about the 36-yard line. So a couple of yards there for Nick Russell, and it's 3rd down, and we'll call it 7 after a gain of 1. Out of the shotgun, Russell back, throws it out in the flat to Dale again. 2 players converge on him. The Hard Rockers get nothing out of this drive, and they'll punt.
Yeah, Dakota State's doing a good job on defense. What they're doing is they're dropping one guy deep, kind of a safety, and the other 4 guys are all staying right in that 5 to 10 yard range, trying to get School of Mines to maybe go a little deeper, and maybe that's how Nick Russell, or actually it was how Nick Russell got in trouble last time and threw that pick.
And it's Colton Jeldon in the punt for the Hard Rockers, the transfer from the University of Wyoming Cowboys. He's a redshirt freshman. He'll be punting the ball away. Drew Allen back to receive the punt. There's a line drive wobbly kick end over end going over on the far side of the field, bouncing inside the 30, and the Hard Rockers are going to down it around the Trojan 28-yard line. So that was about a 36-yard punt for Jeldon. First down, they're going to put it down now at the 29-yard line.
Tom, even in the first 9 minutes of the third quarter here, still not a whole lot of offense by either team. Nobody's really kind of moving anything or getting anything kind of flowing on offense.
3 receivers off to the right and 1 off to the left. Here's the snap. Back to pass is O'Connor, and he throws it into the ground. Hard Rockers want to. They do. They're going to get a intentional grounding after it was called by the Hard Rockers. Jim Aberle threw the flag as Ed O'Connor threw that ball into the ground.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a receiver screen out to the right side there, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know that it was completely a grounding call. That's most quarterbacks are told to do, throw it towards the line of scrimmage right at somebody's feet. But Jacob All, number 99 for School of Mines, talked Jim into that one, I think.
So I don't think they spotted that at the spot of the pass either. Maybe they did, but it is a loss of down, and they did move the ball back to the 12. So I guess that's correct. It's going to be 2nd down and about 27. They have to get out to the 39. They marked it at the 18, so it's 2nd and 22. There's a tip ball, and the ball knocked away and deflected, and Drew Allen, the receiver in the vicinity, at the 33-yard line. It's incomplete. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, Drew Allen and the receiver on that side both just running deep seam routes, and just that ball was underthrown. That's all there was to it.
So it is 3rd down. The ball is at the Trojan 12. We have 5:51 to play here in this third quarter.
Whoops, number 70 came out a little early.
So the Hard Rockers will pick up 5 more yards. Ball going back now to the 12. So that does set up a 3rd and 27 for Dakota State now at their own 12-yard line. It's been a scoreless third quarter so far, and the Hard Rockers leading 17-7. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. O'Connor drops back to pass. He scrambles to his right. He's looking to throw. He does, and it is caught up at the 37-yard line, close to a first down by Wes Dawes. But he's going to be short of a first down. It's going to be 4th down. They picked up about 27 yards, 25 yards. They needed 27. Yeah, they got 25.
They got 25, almost maybe even 26.5 yards.
So it's 4th down, and the Trojans do send in the punt unit. They mark it at the 37. They had to get up to about the 39. Tommy Lunsman back to receive the punt. Here's the kick away. And Hanton has a pretty good kick, but it's going to go out of bounds farther upfield, though, so he kind of shanked it a little bit. It's not going to be as good as he wanted, and the Hard Rockers are going to get excellent field position.
Yeah, really, they're going to get great field position, considering I think that was just a straight shank off the side of his foot to the right side. In fact, when the ball first bounced, it was on the track around the field.
They mark it at the Hard Rocker 40, so that punt only travels 23 yards, and the Hard Rockers have a first down. Nick Russell's at quarterback with 4:43 to play here in the third quarter. 4 receivers out, no one in the backfield with Russell. He's back to pass. He's looking. He throws left side. The man is caught. Oh, and Ostheimer dropped it. At the 40-yard line, Ostheimer drops the pass.
Yeah, Tony just took his eyes off it. I mean, it wasn't the best throw in the world. It was behind him a little bit, but he was a soft coverage by the corner, and the safety had to stay true, more towards the inside because they had the tight end running down the seam. So.
Well, I think there's been every area of the Hard Rocker game today that has kind of been a little bit down. Here's the snap, the handoff, and the penalty flags fly. Jamie Dale bounces out to the right side, and he's going to break a tackle across the 50, 45, and down to the 40-yard line. But 2 flags are down again, and we'll see what this is about. They're pointing towards Dakota State, maybe for an offensive or a defensive offside.
Yeah, it looked like they jumped into the neutral zone there, so I'm assuming the School of Mines should decline this.
So Jamie Dale has his longest run of the season as he picks up 20 yards. And it's down to the 40-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for the School of Mines. 4:29 to play here in the third quarter. Here's the snap to Russell, not a good snap, and the handoff to Dale. He's hit in the backfield. Everybody converging on Jamie. That play was doomed from the start, and it's a loss back to the 44-yard line. It was Dustin Rougeau who was on the carry, not Dale.
Yeah, that one there it was just doomed from the beginning. There was nothing good about that play.
So it's a loss of 4. It's 2nd and 14. The Hard Rockers at the Trojan 44-yard line. We have 3:53 to play here in the third quarter. 17-7, School of Mines leading. Snap to Russell, back to pass, shoots it over the right side, dropped, almost picked off by Bryce Logan, the cornerback.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get bailed out on this one, roughing the passer on Dakota State, number 94.
So Russell brings himself up, and we have a penalty coming up here against the Trojans.
Yeah, Bryce Logan, cornerback, sophomore on this right side. Boy, he sure did drop an easy interception. Another one of those ill-advised pass by Nick Russell.
They call it helmet contact. You cannot go helmet to helmet. So the Hard Rockers get a big break and get a 15-yard penalty. Both teams have been penalized here in this third quarter. It's been kind of a...
It's been a sloppy game all around, for lack of a better word, Tom.
I think that's true, and I'm just, thank goodness, the Hard Rockers are ahead.
Yeah.
Here's the handoff to Jamie. No, is that Dale? Yes, he spins, turns, gets a first down run all the way down to around the 14-yard line. Jamie Dale has done a lot on his own this afternoon. That picks up about 15, and a Hard Rocker first down. You know, you look back, you know, you don't like to make excuses, but obviously 3 weeks off is not what you want once you start the season. And again, the reason we have 3 weeks off, passed out to Ostheimer, breaks a tackle, 10-5, going to the end zone for the touchdown. Tony Ostheimer from about 15 yards out, scoring for the Hard Rockers on a pass from Nick Russell. So Tony comes back after dropping that pass earlier on the drive, made a good catch and run there, excellently done by Ostheimer, and now it's a 23-7 Hard Rocker lead with 3:17 to play in the third quarter, and Ostheimer has a touchdown reception, and now Andy Smith on for the extra point. Trevor Roberts holds the snap, the placement, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 3:17 to play, third quarter. The Hard Rockers now lead the Trojans 24-7. So the Hard Rockers leading 24-7, and Ryan.
Not how you draw it up at halftime. I can guarantee you that. There was a lot of miscues, and not only by the School of Mines, on Dakota State as well. They kind of bailed out the School of Mines on quite a few of those plays. But really, one thing that was coming out of that series was Jamie Dale finally kind of had some success running the ball, and it was off that right-hand side, and they had initial contact right at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to bounce, twist, spin, and do what he could, and actually had a couple decent runs on that.
And it reminds me, isn't it interesting how we're getting to the point now where the Hard Rockers are ahead 24-7, and we're not completely happy with the 24-7 the way they've gotten the lead. And I say that not critically at all, because again, I do think 3-week layoff, and when the team dropped out of the schedule that forced this 3-week layoff for the Hard Rockers, I think that's definitely affected this team. You can practice all you want, but lining up and playing a game against a team is a different story. Ball is fumbled on the return. Josiah Schiller has it, and he gets across the 35 and out to the 37-yard line. Andy Smith bounced the ball down the field, and he fumbled it momentarily, then recovered it, and Schiller gets the ball out to the 37-yard line. Trojans ball, 1st and 10, 3:10 to play here, third quarter.
Yeah, really, with 3 weeks off, you almost have 2 preseason seasons on the during the season, and of course you can get a little restless, and things can, you get your timing off, and it's hard to get it back on game speed.
And O'Connor's at quarterback for Dakota State. Short drop, shoots it out to his right. The ball caught at the 43, and it's McIntyre up across the 45, driven out of bounds at the 50 on the far side of the field. Yeah, Dana Millage.
Dana's got a lot of territory to try and get out there to that flat or the curl area where that's the receiver's just doing a 5-yard stop pattern.
That's a 14-yard pickup and a first down for the Trojans. They're out at midfield now. They have the I formation, 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. O'Connor, play fake, back to pass. He's under pressure. He's hit from the blind side. The ball is fumbled, and the Trojans are able to recover it back at their 35-yard line. Everett Brill came around, caused the fumble, and he gets up limping.
Yeah, Everett Brill covered a lot of territory on that, coming in from the left side, and O'Connor didn't even see him, didn't have any presence at all that he was coming from that backside, and lucky that his lineman was able to get back there and cover the fumble.
So that is not a good sight, though, with Everett Brill hobbling off the field, being attended to by the Hard Rocker trainers. A loss back to the 36-yard line. It's 2nd down and 24 for the Trojans. Here's the snap. O'Connor trying to run the option down the right side. Keeps it. Turns the corner up across the 40, 45, 50. Hard Rocker 45. He's at the 40 and driven to the turf. He may have picked up the first down.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep trying to drop him back and throw with that kind of speed, although he's coming up limp now, it looks like.
Donovan Brill, the younger brother of Everett, making the stop for the School of Mines with 1:49 to play here in the third quarter. They're going to be very close to the first down. And they say it is a first down.
Looks like it's not even close enough to measure. They're going to give them the first down.
So they picked up 24.5 yards and got the first down.
And it looks like O'Connor is going to stay out. I mean, he might have got the wind knocked out of him, so Paul Bagala's back in.
Yep, Bagala's back in with Thielen, the running back. And there is a fumble on a toss at the 44-yard line, and the Hard Rockers are going to recover it.
Yeah, number 50.
Greg Blankenship, who went in for Everett Brill. Gregory Blankenship at a linebacker, a freshman from Kinnear, Wyoming, coming up with the fumble recovery, and the Hard Rockers take over at their own 44-yard line with 1:20 to play here in the third quarter. So Nick Russell brings the team out. Got two receivers left, one to the right. Dale's in the slot. Tyler Barth, play fake to Tyler, pass over the middle. Osheimer catches it at the 40. He's at the 35, and he's down to the 32-yard line, and Nick Russell looked like Nick Russell. He slung that in there on an arrow.
Yeah, great job, Nick Russell bouncing back. He had three defenders right in his face, and he threaded the needle out there to Tony on that one.
24 yards on that pass play. Osheimer, another good catch. The ball at the 32-yard line. First down for the School of Mines. We have 1:07 to play here in the third quarter. Here's the snap. Jamie Dale gets the handoff, trying to go back wide right. He escapes a tackler at the 30, bounces off another tackler, 25, and down to the 21-yard line. He may have a first down, and a late hit or a late flag is coming up. And this may be on the Hard Rockers, but we'll wait and see.
It looks like it might be on Chris Schiller, defensive tackle, number 94, just kind of venting his frustrations on the tight end for the School of Mines. So I think this is going to be a personal foul.
Jamie Dale picked up enough for a first down. He picked up almost 12. And then we're going to have a penalty tacked on here with 49 seconds to play in the third quarter. This will be half the distance to the goal, which would put the ball down to between the 11 and 10-yard line.
Yeah, and you're seeing Jamie Dale breaking a lot of tackles. I think those guys from Dakota State, that defense has been out there a lot this afternoon, and they're starting to feel that a little bit, and he's not coming down with just arm tackles. He's starting to break those tackles now.
Tyler Barth, or Dustin Rougeau, looks like he's in the backfield now. Nick Russell's up underneath center. Play fake to Rougeau. Nick looking, nobody's open, now forces it to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there.
Yeah, great coverage. I was watching that one from up here, and Nick Russell never took his eyes off him. That one there actually probably should have been intercepted again as well, but Nick Russell's got to go off, check down to a second or even third receiver on that.
Yeah, Nick seemed to kind of lock in on him, and 37 seconds to play here in the third quarter. The Hard Rockers leading 24-7. Here's Russell taking the snap. Back to pass, shoots it to right flat. The ball is caught, and it's fumbled. And let's see who's got it.
Looks like Dakota State fell on it.
Tyler Barth caught it, got inside the 5, coughed it up. Hard Rockers still have it. Who came up with the ball?
It's like 30, looks like 35 maybe?
Jess Henderson did come up with that ball. Dan Kratzer is playing a lot of players today.
Yeah, we've seen Jess out there. We've got Marshall Davis.
We have seen a lot of kids play. Here's Nick Russell out of the shotgun on third down. Play fake to Jamie Dale. Nick will keep it. He spins and gets down to about the 1 before he stopped short of the goal line. But did he pick up a first down? And that's going to end the third quarter. The Hard Rockers lead 24-7 after 3 quarters of play. We head to quarter number 4 here on KKLS. Oh, I'll have a bite. How are they? What is this? Brownies?
Almost chocolate cake. Well, while we were gone, Tom, they did go ahead and measure, and it was short, so it will be 4th down and what appears not only be inches for a touchdown, but inches for a first down.
So the Hard Rockers had to go almost the length of the field from our right all the way down to the left, just outside the goal line where they marked the ball inches short. And the Hard Rocker offense staying on the field with a 24-7 lead here as we start the fourth quarter. M-Day, homecoming football for the Hard Rockers. 4th down and inches for a first down and just a few more inches for a touchdown.
Yeah, kind of surprised Nick Russell's going out of shotgun here.
Now he moves up underneath center with 2 backs. Nick on a quarterback keeper. He surges forward for the touchdown. Nick Russell from 1 yard out. Four seconds into the fourth quarter. The Hard Rocker lead is now 30-7. And Andy Smith is in for the extra point. Andy on for his 4th extra point attempt of the game. He also has a field goal earlier. Here's the snap, the placement. Smith's kick is up, and it is good. And the Hard Rockers now lead by a score of 31-7 here on KKLS.
Wasn't good.
Would you do me another favor? Would you want to get me a water? I'm dry, I'm parched. Get whatever you want. As you always do it.
In case you needed approval.
Yes. And we want to welcome Ray Dental again to our sponsors of Hard Rocker football as the kick from Andy Smith comes down to the 11-yard line. Trying to run wide is McIntyre. He's at the 20, and he's tripped up and goes down at around the 22 or 23-yard line. McIntyre with about a 13-yard return.
And, you know, Tom, a game like this is one of that the Hard Rockers have got to kind of get through. It's just one of those that nothing's clicking, nothing's flowing right, but yet they're getting the job done. A lot of turnovers, unfortunately, but they're getting what they need to do, kind of grinding it out, and so far we're on the right end of the scoreboard.
Marshall Davis made the tackle on special teams for the Hard Rockers on that play, and it's first down at the 23-yard line for Dakota State. Moving from our left to our right, they're moving into the wind, and here is the pitch back, and a fumble again, and it looks like the Trojans got back on top of it. O'Connor tossed the ball to Trimble, trying to run a sweep to the left side. Yesh was in there, but the first man who made contact, I think, was Joe Burke.
Yeah, it looked like Joe Burke was one in there kind of disrupting everything up, and the running back, number 5, Trimble, was able to get back on the top of the ball, so they retained possession.
Ball back to the 17-yard line. That sets up a second down and about 16. Man in the backfield, 3 receiver set. Slant play, incomplete. O'Connor's pass intended for McIntyre on the near side was thrown into the turf. And that'll set up a third down and 16. Hard Rockers 31, the Trojans 7 here. Opening minute of quarter number 4. Here's the snap. Here's the play. No, the handoff going to the running back, and it is Trimble. Tripped up at around the 30-yard line. Nice hole, and he found a little crease. Showed good spurt. Tommy Lunsman making the stop for the School of Mines out at the 30-yard line. They're about 2 yards shy of a first down, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, it looked like Trimble might have forgot where he was on the field, because it looked like he kind of went down fairly easy. But, obviously down 31-7 here. This is all got to be one of those you're going to have to go for it, even though it's fourth and a long 3.
Yep, it is 3 yards to go. Trojans come out and now take a timeout.
Yeah, a little confusion on what play everybody was running on that one.
13:22 to play here in the fourth quarter. Third quarter score, it is 30-0. Black State leading Mayville State. They are in the third quarter. And then it is 21-17 in the third quarter now. Minot State leading Valley City State. And a final score saw Dickinson State beat Jamestown 19-7. And California, ranked number 8, beat the Gophers, my Gophers, 35-21 today. Gophers had beaten Syracuse and Air Force in their first 2 games. Nebraska playing today, Ryan?
They are currently on, so I apologize to all the listeners out there. We will not be giving updates, because I do hopefully have this taping as we speak. So if somebody does have that, please don't let me know.
You want to plug your ears in?
I may have to. You just give me a little notice.
It's 21-17 now. Minot leading Valley. That game's in the fourth quarter. 4th and 3, Dakota State. They're at their own 30-yard line. I formation. Here's the snap. Here's the play fake. Here's the pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. Sherman was on the coverage. Yesh was back there. Intended receiver Derek Spangler.
Yeah, good job by Sherman not to get pass interference on that one, trying to go through the receiver to knock that ball away. Great defense there, and the Hard Rockers take over in good position here. Let's see if we can't work on a little running game and maybe kind of grind this clock down.
Oklahoma leads Tulsa at halftime. They thought Tulsa might give them a game. 31-0 Oklahoma at halftime. And USC 10, Washington 10 at halftime.
A lot of people were calling that one a trouble game for USC.
Here's Trevor Roberts trying to run to the outside, and a flag is thrown. Roberts is tackled for a loss of 1. And let's see, this flag probably holding against the Hard Rockers here with 13:10 to play. Had a lot of flags this afternoon. That wind has certainly been strong all afternoon. Hard Rockers have 2 straight road games coming up, at Mayville next week and then at Jamestown on October the 3rd. before returning home here October 10th against Minot. Russell out of the shotgun on 1st and 20. Out in the flat, the ball caught by Trevor Roberts, and he is going to be tackled down at around the 37-yard line.
Tackled by 54, Eric Silas.
So a gain there of about 4. Second down, and well, we'll call it 2nd and 17. Dale in motion, movement on the line of scrimmage. Back to pass is Russell. Free play. He heaves it deep. He's going for Dale, but he overshot him right at the goal line. Jamie couldn't catch up with it. There is a flag on the play, and it looked like Dakota State had jumped into the neutral zone.
Yeah, it looked like Nick Russell knew he had a free play on that one, so Jamie Dale just released down, kind of ran along the sideline, going a go route.
So they offside Dakota State. 5 men in the backfield against the Hard Rockers. Will replay the down. It's still 2nd and 17 from the Trojan 37-yard line. Russell takes the snap, back to pass, steps up in the pocket, shoots it over the middle, caught inside the 20. Nice catch by Marshall Davis, and he is tackled inside the 20, and they're going to mark it down at around the 17-yard line.
Yeah, great job by those guys up front. Nick Russell's got all sorts of time of day. He's just drop it back, taking a couple steps up into the pocket and firing right over the middle. Marshall Davis doing a good job getting open, coming all the way across that deep in route.
Russell takes the snap, empty backfield, shoots it over the middle again, almost picked off again. Ryan, what's going on there? That time it was Eric Farrar breaking it up.
What Nick's doing is Nick's doing his pre-snap read. He's trying to dictate where his first read is of the routes. And then what he's doing, he's not doing his first read after the snap, and he's not coming off that pre-snap read, and he's sticking into that receiver, and he's just not looking around to see what actual defense is playing him.
Bryce Logan was the man who almost intercepted that. Pass out into the flat. Dustin Rougeau drops it. And the Hard Rockers are going to end up with 3rd down here. 12:05 to play here in the 4th quarter. Third and 10. 31-7. Hard Rockers leading here early 4th quarter. Shotgun for Russell. 2 men in the backfield. Back to pass. Shoots it over the middle. Beilstein catches it at the 20, or at the 15, and tackled at around the 13-yard line. So that's a gain of a few yards, about 4. It's 4th down, and Andy Smith is coming in for a field goal attempt here as the clock runs with 11:45 to play.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Russell comes up to the line of scrimmage, and he's doing his pre-snap read, and he's kind of dictating on who he's looking or what side of the field he's going to attack. And then as soon as the ball is snapped, he's not coming off of that and actually reading what the defense is doing.
Andy Smith is going to try about a 30-yard field goal here. Snap, placement, kick is up, and the kick is no good.
Yeah, plenty of distance. Looked like he just pushed it off to the right.
So Andy misses his first field goal attempt of the season, and Dakota State gets the ball back with 11:19 to play here in the 4th quarter. Want to make sure that people know that our games on KKLS 9:20 a.m. now on also KKLS FM at 97.5. What a nice signal, crisp and clear. Ryan sounds just wonderful on 97.5.
Just like I'm in your living room.
Here's the snap, and here's the running back taking the ball, crossing the 25 and getting out. That's the quarterback, O'Connor, keeping it on the option and getting out to the 30. Tom Lunsman making the stop for the School of Mines. But that's a 1st down run, it looks like, for Dakota State.
You know, Tom, and in the first half, we saw Everett Brill kind of blowing those plays up left and right, and I don't see him out there back on the field yet. I don't looking for him on the sideline, but I don't quite have him located.
Well, it's first down, Dakota State. Here's O'Connor handing the ball off, and right there for the Hard Rockers is Wyatt Stangers. Had a fine game, tackling Trimble for a loss back at the 27-yard line. That's a 3-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 13. Wyatt Stanger, 6'1", 260, a junior out of Howard. He's a mechanical engineering major. Second and 13. Ball back at the Trojan 27. Ball between the two hashes. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Trimble in the backfield as O'Connor calls signals. Drops back to pass. Throws it out left flat. Trimble catches it. He's at the 25 and tackled down at around the line of scrimmage at the 27-yard line as Greg Blankenship again from his linebacker spot making the stop. Blankenship in for the injured Everett Brill.
Yeah, good job by Blankenship getting out there to get that one covered. There's 3 guys running on the running after the quarterback. Nobody really read screen on that one except for Blankenship.
So with 9:53 to play in the game, the Trojans have a 3rd and 13 from their own 27. Hard Rockers with a 24-point lead here in the 4th quarter, 31-7. Here's the option down the right side, and O'Connor keeps it, cuts it up over the 30, and he's tackled down at about the 34-yard line. Josh Sherman came up. Tommy Lunsman came up, combining on the tackle. They pick up about 5 yards on the play. More than that, they picked up about 8 on the play.
Yeah, again, we're going to see Dakota State keep their offense out there. 4th and a long 5, maybe even 6.
Trailing by a score of 31-7. Hard Rockers defensively giving up just the 1 touchdown. And now a whistle, and Dakota State wants a timeout. With 8:58 to play here in the 4th quarter. Hard Rockers leading by a score of 31-7. Well, it's been a pretty good M-Day so far.
Can't complain. Big festivities tonight. Congratulations to all the honoree inductees.
Lance Moraiden for football, Tim Frank for track and cross country, Rose Schneider-Pekarik for all-around athlete, Jack Goff for basketball, Steph Law for women's basketball, Jim Bauer was the builder, and the tennis teams from the 1970s that went to the NAIA National Tournament coached by Claire Eklund in 73, 74, and 76. That's Hall of Fame banquet in the Christensen Hall of Fame tonight at 6. At 7 o'clock, the Lady Hard Rocker volleyball team, which beat Minot State last night 3-0 to open up their DAC conference play with a win also. The Lady Hard Rocker volleyball team is home tonight at 7 o'clock at Goodell Gym in the King Center.
Yeah, very impressive last night by those gals coming out 3-0 on the first DAC set of games. So good job. Congratulations to the girls, and good luck tonight.
Against Dickinson State again at 7 o'clock. 4th down, about 6 yards to go for Dakota State. 3 receivers off to the left. O'Connor back, throws, incomplete. McIntyre, the intended receiver, and there really wasn't close to a completion.
McIntyre run just kind of a quick slant out there as a slot receiver, the middle receiver on the trips left there, and really a pass that wasn't even in the vicinity of catchable. So they'll turn it over on downs. School of Mines will start over. Again, we got Joe Sanchez. Looks like he's going to relieve Nick Russell for this series. Maybe for the balance of the game. We'll see.
So Sanchez in at quarterback. Hard Rockers take over at the 35. Here's the snap. Trevor Roberts gets the handoff. Goes off the right side. Carries inside the 30. Down to around the 28-yard line. Picked up about 7. Trevor Roberts for the Hard Rockers, recruited as a quarterback a few years ago. He's 6'3", 240. He's a junior out of Vancouver, Washington. Trevor holds also on the very important extra points and field goals. 2nd down and about 4, we'll call it. Not quite 4, with 8:22 to play. Out of the shotgun, Sanchez. Inside handoff and bouncing out to the left side. Breaking a tackle. Cutting inside over the 20 is Anthony Renteria. And he is down to around the 17, 18-yard line for a first down. Renteria is just 5'5". He goes 165, a freshman out of Gilbert, Arizona. Dan Kratzer really lights that kid's heart.
Yeah, Renteria, a nice hard runner there, like you said, kind of on the small side, but really a hard runner, kind of got a nose for the ball.
And here's the play fake, and Sanchez keeps the ball, tries to run outside, and it's tackled. Maybe got a foot or two, but it'll be second down.
Yeah, Joe Sanchez not quite as quick as feet as Renteria. Looks like we got some new receivers in as well. Looks like we're getting some guys in to get some playing time.
Coming in for the Hard Rockers is Taryn Teeslink at a receiver. Roberts is split out. Here's Sanchez handing the ball inside, and he cuts to the outside and down to around the 11-yard line. Was that Trevor Roberts?
No, looks like that was Renteria.
Renteria. So they're short of a first down by about 3 yards. Ball on the far side hash. It's 3rd and 3. Roberts is in the backfield with Renteria. Sanchez out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Renteria gets the handoff, trying to break a tackle, can't. And it's pushed back as he gets down to around the 14-yard line. So he actually lost maybe a yard or so, and it's 4th down. And Andy Smith is coming back onto the field for the Hard Rockers to try a field goal here with the clock running and 6:36 to play.
Can be about from the same spot he missed his last field goal from. Left the last one wide right. Plenty of distance.
Same hash.
Maybe about half a step, maybe half a yard further.
He'll kick it from the 21, making it a 31-yard field goal attempt. Andy 2 for 3 on the season. Sophomore from Pierre. And here's a flag.
Looks like we're going to take a delay of game on this one.
Play clock ran out. Some of the fans have left. Had a pretty good M-Day crowd. Not as big as our Montana Tech crowd, but still a very good crowd. And now the Hard Rockers want a timeout. With 6:10 to play here in this 4th quarter, and the Hard Rockers leading 31-7. And Kratzer's out there for this little chat. Usually when the head coach gets involved in the chats and not your special teams coach, Lonnie Messick, there's another little message there.
Yep. Yep, Kratzer's right in the middle of that huddle, too. He's barking out and pointing and telling everybody where he wants them to be. So, obviously not happy. I'm not only taking a delay of game penalty, but also having to take a timeout for a field goal.
So the ball will be now placed down at the 26-yard line, making it a 36-yard field goal attempt for Andy Smith. Here's the snap, the placement, the kick is up. It is certainly long enough, and it's good. Andy Smith from 36 yards out with 6:04 to play. The Hard Rockers extend their lead now to 34-7 here on KKLS. What in the heck is that?
back to return it. Number 3, Kyle McIntyre, 28, New Island.
Andy Smith kicks the ball about 9 yards deep into the end zone. And no chance for a return for Dakota State. And they will start now at their 20-yard line with 6:04 to play. So the Trojans break the huddle. O'Connor's the quarterback. Trimble is still the tailback. Short drop, slant play, broken up. Tyrell Anderson knocked it down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I think Tyrell was a little surprised that one about hit him on the side of the head.
Trimble last week for Dakota State carried 15 times for 34 yards, caught 2 passes for 33 yards. He's from Fullerton, California, a 5'7" junior. Second and 10 for Dakota State at their own 20, 6:01 to play. Here's the fall lost, and the Hard Rockers recover it down at the 14-yard line. The quarterback O'Connor lost it. Recovering for the Hard Rockers, Joe Burke.
Yeah, Joe Burke, right place, right time.
And the Hard Rockers take over at the Trojan 14 after the turnover, leading 34-7. Black Hills State was leading 30-0 late in the third quarter. We'll get an updated score on that one for you. They were favored over Mayville, of course. Joe Sanchez at quarterback takes the snap. Here's the play fake, rolls left, throws end zone, and touchdown. Hard Rockers Andy Rogers on the reception for that touchdown pass of 14 yards.
Yeah, not sure what happened on the cornerback on that side. I didn't see what happened. I don't know if he fell down or what, but Andy Rogers wide open, 3 yards deep in the end zone.
Joe Sanchez, that's his first career Hard Rocker touchdown pass. Hard Rocker scored 2 times within 14 seconds. And Andy Smith now in for the extra point. Snap placement, and Andy is good again on his extra point attempts, and the Hard Rockers lead 41-7. Up in Spearfish, Black Hills State 43, Mayville State 6 in the fourth quarter. 43-6. Black Hills leads Mayville fourth quarter. Hard Rockers will kick off here with 5:50 to play. This game might end up being about a 3-hour game, which is kind of unusual. I got to go home and change before the banquet, Ryan.
Did you bring some clothes? You may have to stop at the store on the way home.
Adequate time I need to restore my natural beauty. 5:50 to play here in the fourth quarter. The Hard Rockers leading 41-7. They've scored 17 points here in the fourth quarter. They led 17-7 at halftime. Andy Smith, who kicked it 9 yards deep in his last attempt. See what he does this time. He kicks it high, he kicks it deep, and this one is going to be about 8 yards deep and through McIntyre's arms and out of the end zone.
Thank you to our game sponsor today, the State Farm Agents. Also thanks to Hurricane for sponsoring the Hard Rock Club tailgate. And of course, all of our wonderful corporate sponsors. Serials, EMS Financial Advisors, Howard Johnson Hotel, Family Group Center, Common Sense Convenience Stores, Knowledge of the Black Hills, and U.S. Bank.
Looks like Dakota State's going to stick with Ed O'Connor as a quarterback.
And he will bring the team up. He fumbled the snap, and is going to be tackled as he got across the 20. Picked up about a half yard. He fumbled the snap and then just moved off right guard. And it'll be second down. Next week we'll be in Mayville, North Dakota, 12:10 broadcast time, 12:30 Mountain Time for the kickoff. Mayville's about 20 miles south, a little bit west of Grand Forks, so it's a far piece.
I believe Dakota State will be hosting Black Hills State next week, I think. Have I got my schedule correct?
You are correct. Here's the handoff to Trimble, right up off right guard and center, and he gets out to around the 21, maybe the 22-yard line, short gain of 1. And that'll set up a third down play. Less than 5 minutes to play in the game now, and the Hard Rockers leading 41-7. They scored on their very first play of the game on a flea flicker that covered 62 yards. Nick Russell to Ed Wallachuk. What a way to get M-Day started. Play clock running down, only 4 seconds left. O'Connor gets the team up, takes the snap with a second on the play clock, hands off, and Trimble goes nowhere. And he is tackled by the Hard Rockers' Andrew Ism, freshman out of Superior, Nebraska. He was excited about that tackle.
Yeah, great tackle. Glad he's getting to get some playing time here on M-Day.
Four minutes to play. The Trojans will punt. Tommy Lunsman back to his 45-yard line. Here's the snap and the kick away by Hampton. Lunsman running over on the fly at the 50. Slips, regains his balance. 45, 40, 35-yard line. 15-yard return for Tommy Lunsman, who's filling the big shoes of Destin Menley on those kick returns.
Yeah, you may be asking why he's still out there receiving them, but truly this is his first game. I mean, all of last year, Dustin did all the returning. And, of course, in that first game, Menley did all the returning as well. So just some extra practice time for Tommy Lunsman to do some returns.
So the Hard Rockers have it at the 35-yard line in Trojan territory. 3:38 to play. Joe Sanchez is out of the shotgun. And he hands it off to Renteria, who cuts up the middle and gets down to about the 32. The ball pops loose. And it's recovered by the Hard Rockers back at about the 36-yard line. That seemed kind of a late fumble, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I thought they were going to blow that one dead, but they're going to mark it back down at the about the 37. So instead of a gain of 2, looks like it's going to be a loss of 1 yard, maybe 2.
So second down and about almost 12 to go. Here's the snap, and it's going to be Trevor Roberts getting the handoff, going inside the 35, slashing off right guard and tackle, and gets down to about the 31-yard line for a 6-yard pickup. That'll set up a third down play for the Hard Rockers here. 2:37 to play. Hard Rockers M-Day victory. This will be their second win this season. They'll be 2-0. Actually, it'll be their third win in a row now, closing out last season with a victory. Play clock running down. Hard Rockers get up to the line of scrimmage on third down. About 6. Sanchez out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Here's the handoff. Flag is down. And down to around the 26-yard line. Trevor Roberts close to a first down, but a little bit short. Let's check out the flag. It's either going to be fourth down in inches or third down. It looks like the penalty's against Dakota State. If they take the penalty, it'll be 3rd and 1 or 4th and inches. So it looks like they're going to take the penalty. So the ball placed down at the 26-yard line. 5-yard walk-off. from the 31 down to the 26. It's third and about a yard. Sanchez out of the shotgun, 1:53 to play. Renteria's in the backfield with him. Sanchez takes the snap, hands it off to Renteria, cuts to the outside, he's at the 20, keeps his balance, goes down for a first down to around the 17-yard line. Renteria picks up about 9.
Nice job by Renteria getting around the outside there on just kind of a sweep right. Easily picked up the first down there.
So the Hard Rockers have a 1st and 10. They're just interested in keeping that clock running with 1:30 to play.
Sanchez gonna wait till the clock gets down around 5-4 before he even thinks about snapping.
Here's the snap and the handoff going to the running back around the left side. He burrows his way down close to the goal line, running around the left side, Logan Smith. And he's down to about the 2-yard line.
A really good job by Logan Smith just making sure he secured the ball before he started running, and then even more importantly, stayed in bounds, keep the clock running.
Trying to ascertain whether it's a first down or not. I don't think there's any question about that. Now Jim Aberley says let's start the clock. The ball down at the 2.
Looks like Joe's just going to take a knee here.
Now we have a timeout to reset the play clock. Now we get it going. Hard Rockers will just take a knee and get this game over with. Play clock winding down. 48 seconds to play in the game. Clock running. So the Hard Rockers will move to 2-0 on the season. Joe Sanchez just takes a snap, and that should do it. We won't have to take another snap here. The final score, the Hard Rockers win their M-Day homecoming game big and move to 2-0 in the season and an opening DAC conference victory over Dakota State. 41-7, the final score. The Hard Rockers win. We'll return with more from Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium to wrap things up and look at our post-game report in 1 minute.
Thanks for coming. Drive safe. Have a great weekend.
I want to thank our good friends at State Farm Insurance for sponsoring the game today here at Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium to benefit the Hard Rock Club and the scholarship program. And what a great win for the Hard Rockers again. Homecoming very successful, 41-7, the final score. And Ryan, the team didn't play at its peak efficiency today, but when you don't do that and you win 41-7, that's got to tell you some good things. And even though things were not maybe as sharp at times as we would want, was there any doubt? There wasn't in my mind that the Hard Rockers did have control of the game.
Yeah, you never had the sense that they were losing control of the game. There was a lot of miscues, a lot of issues, but just small stuff. Stuff that you can hopefully will contribute to having 3 weeks off or one game in 6 weeks of practice. This being the second game. So you're hoping that's the case. Obviously game speed is, you cannot simulate it. There's no way you can do it in practice. As much as coaches want to try, and they do, they just can't do it. So hopefully that's what we're going to knock this one to. Next week, a little tougher test. Maybe, maybe not. Mayville State kind of got held handedly at Black Hill State, so it may be another case of a tune-up for the School of Mines, if that's the case, hopefully. But, hopefully we'll be able to get some of this stuff straightened out. A lot of penalties, the interceptions, those we can't have those as we go into the heart of this DAC conference. There's just no way we'll survive.
You put it in a different perspective than I've heard it put before, Ryan, what you just said. 1 game in 6 weeks of practice. That's very interesting, of course, because the team came in 3 weeks before the opening game for fall camp, played their game, another 2 weeks off. So that's a very interesting way to put it, but very true. And I attribute some of these problems the Hard Rockers had definitely to that layoff. But again, give this team credit. 41-7 win over Dakota State. Last season, the Hard Rockers won at Madison by a score of 30-18. So another step in the right direction, and the Hard Rockers are now 2-0, 1-0 in the DAC. They scored on their very first play of the game offensively on a flea flicker. Ed Wallachek catching a 62-yard pass from Nick Russell. Andy Smith converted with 13:42 to play in the first quarter. The Hard Rockers led 7-0. That is after the Hard Rockers chose to give Dakota State the option, or the Hard Rockers won the option, elected to kick off and put their defense on the field first, and that really produced a 3-and-out for Dakota State, and then the Hard Rockers got their flea flicker. They never looked back. Andy Smith kicked a 25-yard field goal, 1:01 to play in the first quarter. That made it 10-0. The first drive was one play and 58 yards, and the second drive was 10 plays, 57 yards for the field goal, and then it was a 10-0 first quarter lead. Mike Trimble scored on a 17-yard pass, and the extra point by Berg made it 12-3. Paul Bagala throwing that touchdown pass. 12:33 to play in the first half, and it was now a 10-7 lead for the Hard Rockers over the Trojans. That's as close as they got, but then the Hard Rockers came back, and Jamie Dale on a drive that went a total of 46 yards, and Dale scored from 7 yards out, and the conversion by Smith made it 17-7 at halftime, and that was a 5-play, 44-yard drive for the Hard Rockers. Third quarter, one touchdown. Tony Ostheimer at a 15-yard pass from from Nick Russell, and that made it a score of 24-7. Nick Russell had a 1-yard run earlier in the fourth quarter, 14:56 to make it 31-7. Andy Smith's field goal with 6:04 to play made it 34-7, a 36-yarder. And then Joe Sanchez threw a 14-yard touchdown pass to Andy Rogers with 5:50 to play, 41-7, the final score. We'll wrap things up. Return, we'll look at some scores from the DAC and have some final thoughts from Ryan. And when we return to Hard Rocker football here on KKLS 920 AM, and now KKLS on FM at 97.5. This is Hard Rocker football. Wasn't that our touchdown pass? We started at our own 38-yard line to start the game, wasn't it?
On 42.
Our own 42? Okay, so I'm off on that. 58.